You're going to say, Paul, you're making all manner of faces in the corner of my eye.
Americans are paying attention. Americans are worried about a lot of things, and this is their newest worry. They're worried about if it'll impact their Social Security checks, their GI Bill checks, their VA benefits. We've been through this before, and I think if the Democrats take this on, it's the latest example of the Democratic Party committing political suicide.
You think so?
I do.
I think they're going to.
I think
this, though, Katy. We have polling on this from
They're going to get beyond the polling. You can talk about the polling. Let me talk about the last interview. You saw the representative try to sell it. She didn't do a very good job. I don't think they're very strong on message. They're not unified. They don't have a clear leader. They haven't won too many fights lately. And not just can they win the fight, but can they win the narrative? And Trump is continuing to drive over them on every single narrative. And if they take this fight on, I think he's unfortunately going to do the same thing again. And they're going to be caught in a world of word salad, which is what a lot of that last interview sounded like to me.
Paul Rakoff still with us. Paul, what do you make of this?
Unprecedented, alarming.
Why alarming?
Because this has never happened before, and in this political environment especially, everything is suspect. And it's hugely disruptive to pull all these combatant commanders from all over the world to Washington under Hegseth's leadership for something that is TBD is really questionable. And for a Pentagon that's been keeping everything so tightly to the vest, now the whole world knows where all of our senior military leaders are going to be. And we don't know if it's because they want to put together war plans for Russia or if it's for a giant photo op. Everything right now around the Secretary of Defense and this Pentagon has been wrapped in politicization. So especially as a purge continues of senior military officers led by Hegseth and others, no one knows what this is about. And I think it feels chaotic, which is unfortunately reflective of his leadership.
Courtney was mentioning that they have busy day jobs. Does this endanger any of the satellites or the bases that they're on?
Well, it endangers everybody because you have to move them all to Washington, D.C. You have to put their second in command in charge. And keep in mind, they may be doing this in the middle of a shutdown. So that could be a factor here as well. It's just hugely disruptive. I don't know if there is a precedent. They didn't do this after 9/11. So to pull them all into one place is definitely going to require some more examination. And it's a time where we need transparency from the Pentagon, and we're going to get the opposite of that.
So there's also this news. Pete Hegseth has eliminated the Defense Advisory Committee on Women in the Services. Here's the statement from the Pentagon. After further review, Secretary Hegseth has decided to terminate the program. The committee is focused on advancing a divisive feminist agenda that hurts combat readiness, while Secretary Hegseth has focused on advancing uniform, sex-neutral standards across the department.
It's not going to help recruit women. Anybody who's outside the political or military sphere and sees that looks like the Pentagon cares less about women today than it did yesterday. So this is part of the dismantling that continues at the structural level across the Pentagon.
Do you think they care?
I do. I'm sorry?
They care about recruiting women?
They should. I mean, we need women to fight in this modern battlefield. A lot of the commanders coming back to Washington to see Hegseth are going to be women. But I think it's about this message that they want to de-wokify the military instead of modernize it. And I think it continues to narrow the military to less women, more conservatives, more politicized people. And that's bad for our military ultimately. And it continues the most egregious politicization of the military we've ever seen in America.
What was this committee doing?
Advising on women's issues, right? Helping them recruit women, figure out how to ensure women are protected and heard.
Safe.
I mean, it's safe, right? I mean, military sexual trauma is still a major issue within the military. This is not uncommon in the corporate sector. So if a corporate company or a corporate CEO said they were going to abolish this, it'd probably impact their stock price tomorrow. And I think this will ultimately impact the overall brand and trust in the military.
All right, Paul Rakoff, always good to have you. Thank you for joining us today. I always appreciate your perspective. Anytime. And your opinions. Thank you, sir.
You got it.